What is going on YouTube? This is Dave's Daily Trades coming at you live with another video on AMC. So pretty much today we're going to take a look at the technical analysis. What a beautiful day, over 20% on the day. Also go over some FUD that's been spreading around, some interesting articles that I found, and a few other pieces of information that you guys are absolutely going to love. So just taking a look right now at the one-day chart of AMC. Of course, this is 1 minute candlesticks. And of course, after that, we will zoom out and take a look at the day. So as you can see, just a huge rip on the open, which has been pretty familiar for the past couple of weeks, where we've had this huge rip up in the open and then kind of trade down or sideways for the majority of the day. Today, we really consolidated right around that, anywhere from $31 to $32 range. Of course, we did have one spike up, and as you can see down here, the RSI, that's when it hit that overbought area. So some interesting things to point out. Of course, as you guys know, I'm real big on the consolidation, and today was just absolutely textbook perfect day for consolidation. Look at this MACD. This is honestly like something we've never seen before. So what that is telling us is AMC is absolutely comfortable in trading in this area. So, of course, one thing I want to point out, and we'll zoom into this right here, this pretty nasty sell-off from 33.20 all the way down to 30.61. That was a pretty big price drop. And, of course, there was some selling by, I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize for that, but Mudrick Capital. And we'll go through some articles and go through some explanations of that. But before we do that, let's definitely take a look at the daily chart and zoom into all of the relevant information. So, of course, as you guys will see, I do have some new areas of support and resistance, but really these lines are not as strong, and I would take all of these new lines with a grain of salt. And I say that because this is new uncharted territory. Guys, we, of course, have only seen, I believe, $33 was a high back like 2 or 3 years ago, which we haven't tested in 2 or 3 years. So we can't really take these for what they are and really just use them as simple areas, especially for some of you newer apes coming into the community. I would definitely try to jump in as close as you can to one of these support and resistance levels. If you could get in at $25, that would be great. I personally don't think we'll ever get back down there. And of course, that new area that I just drew the other day was at $29.78. One thing I see a lot of people talking about is the MACD and the RSI, which are my personal favorite indicators for swing plays. Of course, as you see, the RSI is overextended, and same thing with the MACD. But as I've said in the past, the MACD, the RSI, volume, all these indicators are only looking at the candlesticks. They're not taking into consideration all the back data and all the information that's going on in the background. They're just reading the candlesticks. And also, I've pointed this out again before, but when we had that first massive run up, we were trading at an RSI right around 80. And guys, where are we at right now? Just about 80, 89, call it 90. So we're right at that level where we had that first massive spike up. So this is really looking good. Take these with a grain of salt. Almost ignore them, honestly. Anyways, jumping into the bulk of the data today. So, of course, a lot of people are talking about Mudrick Capital bought 8.5 million shares of AMC and then sold them in the same day to turn a quick profit. Man, what a shame. Of course, in a couple of months, they're going to look back at this and realize they made the biggest mistakes of their lives. Sure, they turned a couple dollars on the stock. That's great. But, you know, if they held on to that for some time and sold in a couple months, they would have been a lot more happy than they are today. Anyways, so a lot of people were really kind of scared, and I think a lot of FUD was going on because of this. And looking at CNBC, one of the key things over here was AMC stock was overvalued. Of course, we do know that it's absolutely not overvalued if you take into consideration the short squeeze, the gamma squeeze, and all of the historical data and information that's going on behind the scenes. But guys, what I found really, really interesting was right here on Reddit. And of course, Reddit wants to be a little slow for me today. Anyways, Ken Griffen, of course, we know where Ken Griffen is from, has a 4.7% ownership of Mudrick Capital. And of course, we can take a look at this Fintel post showing this information. So this is not made up. This is the 13D here. Guys, it's right in front of us. That was an absolute attempt for FUD trying to get everyone to sell. Clearly, it didn't work because we go back here. Guys, we still closed much higher today. And, you know, of course, we had a low of 28.52. But guys, closed pretty close to the high of the day at 32.31. So that attempt, that's another fail in Ken Griffen's book. Of course, I do want to start covering some options as well. Some really interesting information going on here, and it is really starting to get juicy. So right here, of course, I use Stonko Tracker. I know there's other websites that do this, but this was created for the apes and by the apes. So guys, support the community by following and going to this page. Definitely share this around. Anyways, we have 200,000 shares available to borrow. And of course, as you guys can see down here, this fee has been going up. We are back at double digits, which of course is always good, meaning that it's costing hedge funds more money to borrow shares, which essentially is shorting. And of course, we do have 175,244 calls expiring in the money on June 4th. And then another at 35, 27,527. So definitely some interesting pieces of information out here. Of course, this data down here is, I believe it's 1 day behind. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Sorry, that's the failure to delivers and everything. Anyways, jumping over here, following one of my favorite options trader here. I watch all of his videos. Super interesting guy. Definitely check him out. But anyways, he came out with a post just about midday today around 1:45 saying nearly $15 million worth of AMC June 4th, 2021 $40 calls have been traded thus far today. Guys, that is massive, massive volume. And really, this could be one of two things, and I think it's a combination of both here. But anyways, it could be some delta hedging going on by hedge funds because the stock is going up way too fast and their put options are just getting absolutely burned. And also, of course, it's ape who are catching on, seeing this ridiculous volume at $40 strike prices and going all in on this. I mean, honestly, this is not a bad play. Of course, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but I love to see all this volume at such an aggressive strike price too. The last bit of information, I'm sure everyone has been following BAM Investor. If you're not, definitely give him a follow. He was actually the individual that called last week's run up to $32. And guys, we hit it. We actually hit $36 last week. So his model is super interesting. If you go on his website, there's some interesting articles that go through his behavioral analysis metrics of trading, and it is super interesting. I personally got stuck way too deep in the weeds, but I love it and definitely going to check out more information on that. But essentially what he is saying is this $32 area is pretty much the vibration area, which I think of vibration as consolidation. So if we stay and hover around this $32 range, he is saying for just about 6/9 by June 9th, which is, let me take out my phone because I don't even know the date, sometime next week, we are going to see a price of about 280 to 295. Now that's a very, very aggressive price prediction, but guys, this man was almost spot on with calling the $32 jump. So guys, I absolutely believe this 100%, and his models are so freaking interesting. Definitely give it a read, but this is so interesting, I absolutely had to share it. But even more interesting is we're saying if we actually hit this 280, 295 price, we could absolutely expect to see just about 445 by August 17th, which is not too far. Other than that, guys, I really don't have too much additional information besides tomorrow, June 2nd, proxy votes come out, and you guys better be voting. I don't care if you guys have 1 share, if you guys have 100 shares, 1,000, 10,000, a million, whatever it may be, vote, guys. It's going to be the most important vote of your lives. With that said, guys, if I provided any good information for you guys, anything you guys liked, definitely hit that like button and subscribe, and tune in for the next one.